we have a AI art. Now, of course, there's a lot of debating on AI art, but what I'm going to do is just basically show you how I did this. So, real simple project. The great thing about AI art is that we can do simple projects like this. Gives us an opportunity to do some simple things. So we're going to use some basic Photoshop fundamentals here. So let's start a new project. And I always have my setting 2000 by 1297, 200 resolution. It's just a setting that I like. It just gives me, I think these give me good settings, so I just go with them. All right. First thing, we're going to bring the background in. Right. Let's get all of this in here. So, all right. So we have the background. Now I'm going to remove her, but I'm going to keep this shadow here. So I like this shadow. So I'm just going to remove her, and I'm going to use content aware fill to do that. So I'm just going to take, let's just use the marquee. Let's use the lasso tool. And I'm just going to draw around it real quick. Okay. And then I'm going to go to edit. Content aware fill. And we can see we have some stuff there, but I'm going to leave it there because my subject is going to go in on top of this. So good enough. Now, if I wanted this picture blank like this, I'm going to leave it like this. I would do some more work here, but that's not what we're doing. So now we're going to go to my subject here. I'm just going to hit the object selection. And let's see, will it? Oh. Okay, just working. What's going on? Okay, so we have it. And you can see we missed some spots here. Let's go in. And again, I'm going to use my lasso tool. Make sure it's on plus. And just fill that in. Okay. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be there, and then we can go ahead and mask him. All right. All right. So now let's move him over to, and I'm thinking of having his waist close to where hers was, about the same. Control T, and then I'm going to move the anchor point to his waist. I have my aspect ratio locked up here, so I just have to hold down the Alt key and drag. And we get about right here. Maybe we want him a little larger. I'll move him up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so about there. Now the only thing is that the light is coming from this direction. His light is coming from this direction, so his light is coming from the opposite direction. So I'm going to go ahead, flip it, moving about right here. Okay. So those are the two steps I'm in right now. The next thing is creating a shadow. So you should have a longer shadow here, and it's a couple of ways I can do this. I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm going to just go ahead, hit Control J to create a duplicate, and then I'm going to apply the layer mask. All right. I'm going to take my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to pick a dark color here. I want it black. I just want a dark color. Okay. Then Control and select, and then Alt, backspace, and that filled that. All right. Then we go Control T, and I'm going to distort. Okay, so I'm gonna, should be here, so I'm gonna make sure he's, yeah, we gotta work on this shadow here. There. All right. Somewhat close, but now we can go ahead and work on this. And the thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to blur it out. So I'm going to go to, let's go ahead, make it into a smart object. So just in case I change my mind, I go filter, blur gallery, and tilt shift. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just rotate this around. All right. And move it here. I want it sharp, close, and I want to kind of blur it all the way out. And then I'm going to increase the blur a little bit. Okay. Let's do it that way. All right. I am then going to change the blend mode of this layer to multiply, and then add one more blur. Let's go with a Gaussian blur. All right. Change the opacity down a little bit. And then we are going to add a layer mask and just kind of work on we're just going to work on the shadow here. You can see I'm going to take the flow down, and I'll take the opacity down a little bit. And just kind of work on that. Okay. All right. Should be darkest around his feet, and then fade out a little bit more as you get further away. And I may go ahead and create one more layer. Change it to multiply. Use my brush tool, and then come down here and get that shadow in there. Get my flow and opacity up to 100%. And we we just want to merge that foot into the ground here. A little more realistic. All right. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. And we can maybe take a little more out. All right. All right. Good enough. All right. So again, real simple. Now the final thing is I'm going to turn the background and convert that into a smart object. And I want to get some blur on here. I don't know how much, but let's go ahead and we'll do the same thing. We have a couple of things we can do. I'm going to still use my tilt shift. I'm going to move down because I don't want any of this blur down here, but I'm going to start. Let's start there. All right. I'm going to move this down. So it's sharp. We already have our depth of field here. I'm going to move this to about here. And let's bring it down just a little bit. So I can try that. And that gives me a little, and let's see what that does. Okay, it's just slight, just enough. I mean, the background is, and we got a little depth with the truck. So that is pretty much it. This is the good thing about having AI. This takes just a few minutes to get something that's reasonably well. I mean, we're working here, so we got something that's reasonably well. If we wanted to, we could go in and maybe do a color lookup table. And I have a lot of LUTs here. Let's see if any of them. We have some cinematic. Let's use some of the ones that are standard with Photoshop. So just in case. Maybe the blue. I kind of like the blue. I kind of feel in the blue. Let's take the opacity down a bit. Maybe we're not so blue. Yeah. Give it that blue tone. And that's it. We could run with this and we would be done. So you can see not a lot of layers, not a lot of difficulty, just simple mask, blur, got a blur gallery, tilt shift, Gaussian blur, and we got a couple of other layers to create the shadows. But the benefit of AI art, and I understand a lot of artists are against this, but when it comes to getting something really simple, really easy, this is a good way of getting started and get you something in and out. So we'll do that. I'll link the prompts in the descriptions on how I got my characters and the background, and we can go from there. All right. So that's it. We're done.